Welcome, welcome to Driven by me, and this is, and we are going back at the Finite-State machine, and I did a lot of stuff in the back, and yeah, I will go over all the files one by one, so to show you what to do next in your Finite-State machine. Okay, so let's see. Okay, yeah, I think I will close everything like that, and also I need to test the chat. My new TTS supposed to work. No, it's not. Need to open this, I think. The music is too loud on my side. Okay, now the TTS is supposed to work. Let's see.
The drill says test.
Okay, YouTube is not connected as usual. YouTube. Streaming apps. Platforms, yes. Signing. Now YouTube, are you working? Okay.
Driven by Mehendis says test.
Yes, okay, it works. Okay, let's go over every file one by one. So the abstract FSM, which is in my Finite-State machine plugins. Let's see it without the diff. This is a diff to see what I have added and what I have deleted in red, added in green. So this changed a lot. I've just added the activation of the tick. I will try false here later on, but the important part is this pure virtual stuff. Usually in C# you do this, but and C++ I mean, but it seems that with Unreal they have a macro which is pure virtual to make the function per virtual. I don't remember exactly what it is, so I will check up. I know that virtual will reach the children's of this class, but pure virtual I don't remember. I need to check now. It's a good thing to do check when you wonder right away. You don't wait. Where is my... Oh yeah, also there is this. I would just open Comet here. 3 assets for your game. In Unreal Engine, you open the Unreal Launcher, you click Fab, limited time free, and you have 3 assets for free for a limited time until 18th November, and after the 18th you will have new assets there, and to get the assets correctly you need to click there, professional, add to cart, On the other one, the same thing. Professional, add to cart. Same thing here. Add to cart, and go to the cart, and you look at professional. That way you can. This is the license for studio or other entities with over 100k revenue or funding in the past 12 months. So if you do under this selling your game, this license, the other license, which was don't remember. The other license is personal for individual creator or small team. So yeah, it's I don't know why they keep it's for the price. It's when you pay for it. Like you don't want to pay the full price, but free they should remove this when they sell it for free, because it's useless to pick the personal when it's free. Both are free. Cart. Go back to cart. Check out. No view cart. Professional. Then check out. Placeholder order. Okay. And there we go. You get an email. You can archive it, but this will appear in your library. So every time you log in your account, this would be there. So be sure to only have one account. Those are all the one I got for free. None of them I paid none of them. So I've been looking for this for a couple of years, I think max 3 years. But I know that at the beginning I was not consistent with it, but in the past 3 years I've been, and yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot of stuff I can use in my game. It's not always the best, like they are cheaper and they have ratings, so sometimes you can see other people reviews on them. This is one of the new free package I wanted to watch to see if I can use any of this in my current game. So yeah, you can open this. Okay, it's too modern for my game. Maybe. Yeah, it's a bit too modern. But maybe I can use it. Victorian steampunk. The real steampunk. No, not the real. I'm joking. There are no real steampunk. Yeah. So next, we are going to ask AI, what is pure virtual? Why do I forget what it is? I don't know. But yeah, I'm supposed to know what it is because I had a course in C++. What is pure virtual functions? A pure virtual function is a virtual method declared in a base class without an implementation identified with =0. It's supposed... okay, mine was already a pure virtual. Oh no, it wasn't. I didn't put equal 0. It's supposed... oh, its purpose is to force any derived class to provide an explicit implementation for that method, marking... okay, if you put 0 there, equals 0 inside the brackets, you force the children of this class to have the function with the 0. To provide an explicit implementation for that method, marking the base class as abstract. Yeah, by doing the equal 0, this class becomes an abstract, and keywords like that don't exist. This does not exist in C++. It's made by Unreal, and yeah. This is how you flag a class as abstract in Unreal, but in C++ it's just equals 0 there, and it looks like this, just so you know. Equals 0 with the semicolon. Okay, this is the one I want to know. Unreal Engine specific use. Unreal Engine U object system expects most U classes to be instantiable, which can conflict with making pure virtual method as in standard C++. Okay, so their system do not read this because it's a U class. If you put U class above here, like I've shown you, and I think okay, when you put a U class there, the equal 0 does not work, and a U class is when you inherit from a U something class from Unreal. I think, because there is a actor, and it become there is no a class stuff above, if I'm not mistaken. It could be. If the function okay, it's just because they override this functionality with U classes, they created their own pure virtual. If the function has a return type, add a default return value. Example, pure virtual, my function return. Okay, this macro ensure that if a child class forgets to implement the function, okay, that's fine, I know now. There is also another one I will talk about, is the transient here. Yeah, I will talk right now about what it is. When you mark a variable with U property without the transient, it allows you to add this variable inside the saving system of Unreal. So if you will create a saving system, like a user has choose such and such settings in his game, and you don't put transient, it will save when it will reload the game. It will save in the user setting you will set. Right now I don't have user setting, but when I will do, I will check every U property I have and either put it transient when needed. So those variable will not be saved because it's transient. It would not be saved in the saving system. It will not be serialized, we say. It won't be serialized. So if you remove this, it will be serialized. What else? So, okay, so this is just to activate the tick. I was putting this to false because it's an abstract. I will test it at false later on after we check. Right now, and I will play to see if it works. But it's weird because I feel like it takes, you need to clean up the project for this to be applied or something. It does not work right away sometimes. So what else? I removed the on start on enter on update because it does not need it. Oh, it does not need the interface we added here. You don't need it on the state machine, only on the states here. I removed this and moved them to children. The thing why you would have this abstract is to pass. Let's see the source file. Wait a minute. This is the header file. It's called the header file. And the source file is the CPP file. I removed it. You don't need it. So this abstract class is not in my character plugin. It's in the Finite-State machine plugin. And it only provides those functions, but not those ones. Those ones are provided by UActor component. Those ones are my class. And I enforce them into the children, and the children would be online player abstract FSM. Why I repeat again another abstract class? It's because I want to give to my FSM access to some files without putting too much into the non-abstract version of the class. The implementation, we say. Let's see. Do we jump right away to the children? No. Later on, I will finish in order. So abstract state. It's, I say here, I keep it in my plugin, FSM plugin, Finite-State machine plugin, just as an example for later uses if I want to bring it in a new game or something. So I tell anyone using it, you don't use this one, you create your own. This is just an example to recreate inside your other plugin that that uses this plugin. Same thing for the state interface. I made an example. I don't need to use it. I wasn't able to. It was not useful to use it from the FSM. So there's only one thing in the plugin, and it's this one thing active, like usable, from which you implement your FSM. The other are just the examples, I think. Let's see. Yeah, there's only this one working. Those two are just example on how to use it. And I don't think it will get bigger with time. Like max a few new function, but probably not. I feel like this is getting is getting it. What? Yep. So next, let's see the next one. Also, I wanted to show the non-diff here. Easier to watch, to read for you, screenshot or something. Anyone doing an FSM in C++. My music. Okay. The chat is working. Okay. Next one. The states. What did I do? Not much. There's not much except the condition for entering, exiting. I leave the... Well, it's working now. It should be fine to remove all the stuff here. So I was wrong. AI told me to not put last episode. He told me not to put in can exit, but I miss it. It was a bad advice. You need an exit condition because it will go out of your state when you want it to keep going in the state, inside the state. I feel like I want to keep at least one log. Hard. I will keep the simplest one. I can exit, or yeah, can exit. Tells me if this is, it gives me the value of this. So those two. Also, yeah, I added this so that when he enter and see that this state is, if the state, oh no, damn it. If the state okay, there's a loop that check if it can enter in this state, and the loop has all the state, and it checks every every state with the can enter. So it for every state he check can it enter, and it brings the current state that he's looking inside the loop. And when he enters, he check if the state this, which is this state here, is equal to the one he's checking right now in the loop. And you can check that by right-clicking, find all references, and it's there. So the loop is there. It was here. It's a bad place to put this because it's stop here, and it does not. It does not check can exit because it's before can exit. But if you put it inside the state, it can check can exit, but can exit the state if it needs to. We will see this file later on. So same thing. The other jumping is not implemented yet, but I needed to see if it enters it. But now it's false, so it does not enter, does not get in, get out. Same things for running, but walking is, this is one of them, the one I implemented. Okay, I keep the logs, is better while I'm implementing it. But even though this is working, I want to keep the logs, at least one. because sometimes you debug something and the thing that worked earlier start not working, and you don't want to rewrite the log again. But when you are finished with this task, you remove all. It's better to remove all the logs because it's harder for your teammates later on. The teammates will add this log, and then there would be too many logs. If you can, I would say like maximum comment it, but if you want to be a good programmer, don't leave your logs, especially not commented, because it's harder for your teammates. It's horrible. 0. Where is it? I don't see it. Okay. There is none. Oh, is there? Can exit. I just want the principal, the most, the one who's checking this. But is it checking this? Not exactly. I modified it. I need to explain the condition on which it's getting out or not. There were horror games for free too. If you go in Unreal Engine, every 2 weeks I think or something, there's a new free games. No, it's store. Free games here, and there are 2 horror games for Halloween. And next one would be the 6th of November. It will be those games. This one, I remember streamers playing it. So it's if I remember, it's this. It's the one. Oh no, it's not the one. But I'm pretty sure some streamer played this. Okay. I want the can enter one, and I can leave the rest. Okay, this one has a difference here. I will talk about, but first I want to tell you how to get out of your idle state and getting. So what allows, what will tell that the character can enter the idle state, and I reflect upon it, and here is it check if to tell, okay, the character is it can be idle now. It needs that your input, your keyboard or controller needs to be near 0, so that meaning there is no input, and the character has to be grounded, meaning that his feet is on the ground, and there is no input, and the player physic movement is motionless, like there is no physic pushing the player. So if all this is respected at once, in and end, then it can enter the idle state. So I reflect like, okay, it needs to be an and end, like it needs to come in 3, because if the player is pressing to move, that means it wants to get out of idle state, like and usually players prefer that it's really reactive, especially me, but I can handle some latency in there. But my game, I want it to be very reactive, like Minecraft. So if it is idle, then and I press a button, I want to get out of the idle state. I don't want the player to keep being idle. And because I could press and my character is like there is something going on, but this will might change later on because of that. Like if my character is under a spell and he is idle and I press, but he's under a spell and he has to keep being idle, so this can be false, and it will change later on if the game have this kind of spell, but it might not because it's very specific. So in that case, I add an end. It has to come with something else, grounded. So it cannot be idle if it's not grounded. Like if he cannot be idle, it will be a different kind of idle. If like he's falling from the sky, an infinite fall, and he's idle in his infinite fall, it would be a new state. It would be idle while falling state. It won't be the idle state. So it's fine to add this is grounded. What can it be false? A part of that. So even for if he's under a spell and he's idle, it might be something else, another state. So the finite state machine can become very complex too. Like it can be a nightmare. Yeah. So if it's under a spell, it might not be in an idle state, or maybe it could be like a state that is like he is under a spell state, something like that, and it should handle all the under a spell stuff. It should have its own idle and own thing inside it. Maybe not. So next is motionless. It's the physics applied to the body. So it's motionless. I will show you how those variables are set later on. Motionless checks if its velocity is near zero. If it's near zero, this is true. So the thing is that when it will enter walking state, I will push the player and this will become false. So if I push the player in walking state and this is true, and I stop pushing the player, this become no, I push the player, this is false. I stop pushing the player, this is true. So this, and it is on the ground, and I stop pushing the player, this can enter the idle state. Now, how does it exit the idle state? If it is not grounded, like he's jumping or is pushed by something and there is a ragdoll, he does not, like something explodes and he's in the air, he cannot be idle in the air like a Looney Tune character floating out of a riff. Or, this is important because now this is absolute. If it's or, like it only needs to have only one of those three conditions needs to be true to exit the idle state. So if it's not grounded, it get out. It does not even look at the other. If there are physics applied to the character, he's not motionless. This is not the little exclamation. Oops, I moved something. This is not motionless. There are physics pushing it. It get out. It does not check the other one. This could be false, and then I think it's the reading is in condition. I think it's from left to right. I'm not sure. But if this is false, it goes to this one. This one is true. It get out. Or if this one is true and those two are false, it get out from this one. So that's why or. So this one is not the input near 0. So if there is an input, like the player push the button, I wanted it to get out of the idle state. As I said, I want it to be reactive. So I don't want the player to push buttons. The player and his character is idle, and it is keep being idle, and the player keeps pushing. I don't want it to happen. So I get out if he pushes the button. And it's the move button specifically, meaning the joystick arrows or the keyboard arrows, which is the WASD for currently in my settings, or the numpad. I think I have the gamepad set for it, but I'm not sure. Not sure. And the difference now. Okay, walking state. Walking state, it's almost the same but inverted. If the input is not near 0, meaning that the player is pressing and the player is grounded, it touches the ground, then it can enter the walking state. I remove the physic because the physic occurs here. Once it is entered the state, it occurs, so it needs to enter first to have some physics, and can exit. The player is not grounded, meaning he's jumping, something push it out of the ground, then it can exit the walking state. He won't walk on the ground, on something else than the ground. But this might change because yeah, I will need them to climb, but it will be another value. It won't be grounded for climbing. Grounded would be for flat, like feet on the ground. It would be like is climbing or something. Or those two are put together. I put a parenthesis that ends there, the blue one here. So those two are together and there is an end here. So it can exit walking if it does not touch the ground, and or he's not moving, there is no physics, and the move input is near 0. So it goes out of walking if there is no physics pushing it and the player is not pushing any button. Any move button, arrow, WASD. So, and it enters and play the movement, and I will show you this later on in the following, where it leads. Start walk. Now the abstract FSM, it re-implement. If I go in abstract FSM here, it re-implement the first one we've seen. So it has it overrides those one that were pure virtual. This overrides the tick component, which is in not from EM, but even though it's here, it's from the actor component, which is Unreal class. Just the add. Okay, so it re-implements UActor. It can have those two. It can override them. And I did this because my tick component was not working. I can delete. I think I can delete. I will do hide them to see. Test with you. So abstract player. This is my re-implementation, but in my uPlayer plugin instead of my FSM plugin. I re-implemented. So anyone wanting to reuse my FSM inside their project, they should re-implement my abstract with another abstract class, which means that it's not an object in the game. It cannot be instantiated. The child later on here will be instantiated in the game. This is not this. Why I do this? It's because I want to give access to this to any child. Protected with means that those are accessible through the child, which is this one. And I give it it alleviate the amount of stuff that I would put in here. Which is more specific to the player. As you can see, the state can access this one, and the abstract one is a new one. It wasn't there in the previous video. What can I say? The thing is, it's more something that initiate those objects. Those objects, if you look at them, it's the state stuff. And if you look at the source file, which is the abstract FSM C++ CPP, you can see that it's wait a minute. I want to find where this come from. Where is it called? Delta time here. From the children. Or what? Okay, it goes to upstate in the parent here in the abstract. Let's go back. Abstract FSM. So it's called from the children. I forgot about this one. I shouldn't. I would need to correct it. Find all references. Yeah. I feel like it should do its own. It should have its own just like this one. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, I need to test it. To test it, I will continue explaining and test this later, or just correct it now. But I feel like it's too much changes to test at once, so I will do it later. Okay. Too much changes at once. I will wait. So here there's only the logs and those. Because this give access to it's for the states. The state, all the state. Okay, yes, this one is needed here because I passed the FSM controller here. And I passed not the abstract class, I passed the children of the abstract class. Here, this is this class. I pass it to the abstract parent here. And I pass it to all the state when they are created at once. And all the states receive it when they start. On start, they receive, and they... Oh, I forgot to... oh no, it's there. It add it to the on-start abstract state here, and it put it in this one, and this one is accessible to all the states in their own parent abstract. So when they need to access the FSM, they all can access the FSM here and do those commands. Why I do this? Because at first I wasn't passing it to the parent on all the state, and it differed. Like every object have a different abstract parent, and it was misleading in some way, because now they didn't have the same values. So now by doing this, they all have the same value, the same controller in their parent abstract. And I've checked a couple of other FSM, it was similar. It was similarly done. It's only the thing I will repair later on that I need to repair. This is correct. I need to not forget it's correct to pass it there. So abstract FSM here. This is deleted. Oh no, it's the test I want to do. What else is there in this one? The abstract. It only creates all the possible state, like it gives the number of state, which I added a count at the end. I like to use this, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it counts the one as if this was 1, 2, 3, 4. It counts the number of valid state, and so I can use it as a counting thing by when I create an array. I like using arrays. They're usually one of the best for this kind of stuff. Not always, but for this kind of stuff, I prefer array. Yeah, the thing is that AI will make you do a list, and it's not very good, because especially for something that won't change during the gameplay. It won't add more state. I will add as a programmer more state, but this is not expendable. This won't grow with time in the gameplay. It would grow in time in programming, in development, but not in the game. So an array is perfect when it does not grow over time. But AI overuse lists, and lists are bad for that. Lists are good when something grows and you don't know. It's not absolutely good to use. You want to avoid them because they do cache misses, and cache misses is because lists are pointers. Like if this was a list, every item will point to the next item and this item to the next, and this it would point in memory with a pointer. And because of that, when it's sent to the CPU have little caches of information. It caches the pointers. It does not caches the good information because the CPU uses the cache to access more rapidly to the information is currently calculating. And lists, since they are linked with pointer, it will cache the pointers and other stuff. But arrays, since they are not linked via pointers, the cache will take this information instead of the pointers, and it will go faster. It won't do cache misses. So yeah, AI will always make you do lists, which is really bad. But not really, really, really bad, but it's bad in the sense that it's a newbie mistake. It does a lot of like newbies mistake, like a rookie mistake, like nested if statements. And yeah, you can look at the. It's hard to tell, but some people are fine with nested. But when you don't do nested if statement, it's easier to debug. I remember when I started doing it, it was way easier. My code was finally easier to debug. What else? Next one. Did I check this all? This is super easy to read. I made all of this, so I know what is going on. I could use count here, but since it's filled up, it can use num. There are more modern for loop, like for each, but I don't like them. There's some. I don't remember why my teacher said this is better. I think it's because the for each uses maybe a system that, or it leads to some error, or I don't remember. It used maybe a pointer behind the scene. I don't remember. But I prefer the old for loop, especially because I can use this usually, my count. So yeah, here there's nothing much new, I think, because it's a new file, so I moved the stuff from another one, from this one. So we might see the old stuff in there. Let's see. Yeah, it's already there. The old stuff I moved to the abstract. So that's why I made this abstract. I could alleviate, make this one lighter. I could remove this, and just keep this in the implementation to bring the implementation. This is the log. To bring the implementation somewhere. See. No, it's just a log. I just log in there. Anyway, oh yeah, I bring it there. So this could grow later on, so that's why I feel like I wanted to put less as possible in there. Maybe I could be wrong and put this in, put the abstract back in, but I'm not sure yet. I will see later. Those now we are there. I don't need this one. I will delete it. Abstract state. Let's see. Also, I wanted to show you how to add a class because yeah, it's really not cool to add the class from Unreal Editor. You need to reload and close the editor anyway. So to add a class, you go right click and you on a folder, add, and you have Unreal Engine item if you install the right stuff. And you double click or open, and now you can create. You don't have all the classes, but it's a really boring, not boring, annoying that they didn't put all the classes. But you can pick none if it's not there, and you can pick your plugin here. So my online player, if I want to add to online player, it would be there, and that's how you add a class in Unreal. You could use the old system too. No, there's no issue with that, like new item and do it by end. There is no issue with that, as long as you do the right do you use the right implementation, the right classes, like U stuff, like when you inherit from a U class, you need to add a U or A if it's an actor. Otherwise, it won't compile. So I can move this here. Oh, void. Is it? No. Yeah, I don't remember what it is. It's a void? Well. And now I can delete the CPP. Oh no, it's not that. Who is the culprit? Abstract state. Let's go in the abstract state. There you go. It's a void. No, not. I was right. And now I can delete the abstract state CPP. Which is in online player in the private. And you, I would say don't use it here, go inside, because sometimes it will just remove it there. So delete it in the Windows. Now if I close it and reopen it, it won't be there. Now I can remove. Okay, next. Abstracts, FSM. So this, yeah. It checks, this is the for loop. It's in the tick. So it runs every loop of the game to enter and or go out of the states. This is where the whole mechanic of the state, it all runs here. It's here that it enter, it check if it can exit, and it check if it can enter the other state. The current state is the one it is currently in, and if it can exit and can enter the other state in the loop, the next one, then it uses the current state. It calls the exit, because now it's exiting the one it was in, and it changed the current to the one it can enter in, and it calls the onEnter to announce it's entering, set the variable that will be there later on. And this is just the initialization. It's not in the tick, so it happens only one time at the beginning to initialize everything. Call the onStart to set the variable, not the... I set the variable onEnter, but it's rather here usually. OnEnter would be other stuff, like starting an animation, or... yeah, it's rather starting animation stuff. Like idle, I would need to put my idle later on. Do my own animation system. Like right now it uses Unreal animation, but I will need to deactivate it and use my own in my FSM. Yeah. But this I've shown you. I might not have explained it because I copied I copied one I did and mix it with the one the AI proposed, I think, if I remember well. And I had some issue because current state was not it goes in the tick sometime without this being initialized, so I need to do this so it does not meet null pointer here if this is not yet initialized. Okay, what else? So this one there's not much. I just moved a lot of the stuff in the parent. I will need to test removing some of the stuff here to put it in the parent too, because the parent should be able to have a tick component and not need to do this. I will check camera. What did I do in camera? It was with you. It was the thing we did in the last, so it should be on a different commit. I would put it in a different commit. I will commit everything that's we have seen so far, just to not commit track. We'll track them. So the camera, I don't forget to track it in another commit. Character. Character, there's not much yet. I think it will have... I will do something tonight for the size of the character, maybe. But this is not needed anymore. I don't remember. Oh yeah, here I set I created a new file which is online movement which handle the movement of the character, and there was already a character movement component in the character. So at first I was doing this, and I didn't know, and I saw the component inside the character, and then I changed this one. It was all off-string, so I created this off-string. So I inherited from the uCharacter movement component, which allows me to replace the default movement in character here, which is a set default subs folder, and it should work because I do the movement here, and it works, and so it replaces the default one. But when you look at it in the game and in the editor, it does not say it replaced, so it's hard to tell. But because my begin play works, it's in there. I'm not sure about this, why it's there. Yeah, I don't remember. Let's do a little check. Final references. Who is using it? I think I can delete it. I will test it later because I have too much already to test. So character is done. Save. Controller. My big controller. So I added the setup of the references. The thing is that
your company's travel budget go farther. Get discounted hotel.
Just skipping the ad. The thing is, while you are coding, you might have things like that, like the camera tilt. This is not really, it's not bad, but it's not really good because every time I move my mouse, it creates those two variables. So to solve this, to not create those every time I move my mouse, I put them inside a variable in my header. That way it does not create those variables every time. And since there is a garbage collector in Unreal now, it will peak, like when it will. The thing is, this will add trash to clean in the garbage collector, and the garbage collector will be filled, and when it's filled to the max, it will empty the garbage, and when it empties the garbage, it does a lag peak, and you want to avoid those lag peaks. But those are not pointers, so that's not so bad. I don't think it might go. It might be. Yeah, it's deleted right away when you end this function. But it's not. It might do some. It's not that bad. They are not pointers. I'm not sure. I would need to ask AI. Let's do this. I don't want to do. I think that it's fine for the garbage collector, but well, let's ask. Unreal Engine 5.6 word variable in function like this be training for the performance if there are a lot in my project, or is it fine? I would ask this first. Just to see. I think I made a mistake. Variable creation in function like this. creating local variable such as a rainbow with a few vector inside a function is generally not a preference concern. Yeah, they are on the stack, as I said. They are not. They are deleted right away. But when it's floating v vector, it's fine. It would be a performance issue if it was done repeatedly, but this is my mouse. Example, and if would be heavy. This is the function is called all the time my mouse is move. It's called all the time my mouse move. Given that your cumulative function is called frequently every time the mouse move, it's even more important to understand the performance implication. However, creation sites such as route and simple function remains. Yeah, it's not that bad because it's small variable, but by habits I prefer to not create too much things like that. It's more it says that the performance is more in the add pitch call. Yeah. But sometimes when it's a U property pointer, you want to bring them like you want to avoid creating pointers in a loop, I think. Yeah, it's no, it's a I am making a mistake because it will be the same as this. The pointer is even smaller. What you want to avoid is creating a new object. Let's say even you have this and you create, this is fine, it's correct, it does not create it, but cast don't have one there. But you do a cast in a loop, this is bad. But it's finding something like this, it's fine. It's not, you shouldn't do this in a loop usually, because now it will look, this will find component will look, it will try to find something that match this class inside your character, inside this. So it will loop, and you want to avoid 4 loops in a loop. Like your main loop, your tick is already a loop, and doing this in a tick will add another loop, which will exponential. It be exponential growth in latency, like in a big O notation. It would be exponent by 2, since it's 2 for loop. So it will be a curve of calculation. There is a cast. If I did this in, it's not creating, it's getting the pound, but I think that casting will convert the get pound to this class. It's not a cast in the loop, I mean it's a new object. New, I think it's when you do equal new object or equal new. It's the equal new like this. New or new object in the loop. You want to avoid this, I think, because in Unity it's to be avoided because of the garbage collector. Let's see, let's ask. Is it fine to do a lot of new objects or cast in the main loop of my game? It shouldn't be fine. It is not recommended. Or cast operation. New object, creating new object using new or new object every frame can lead to high memory allocation, increasing garbage collection, as I said, overhead, and potential CPU spikes. For game loop. Casting itself in Unreal Engine 6 is quite cheap and negligible in cost for typical uses. It only involves a type checking and pointer reinterpretation, but no memory, so it's fine to cast. But I'm not in the main loop here. I'm in unpossessed. It occurs one time when the character is possessing the pawn is possessing, like the player is possessing the pawn. I think that's what I mean. It possesses the pawn. Now it can start playing. No, it's I'm wrong. But it's in possess. I think it's the children. It's the children unpossessed. Final reference. Yeah. No. Oh, it's in the begin play. Similar. It occurs one time. It's not in the main loop. But where you want to avoid it's a tick component. You want to not put a new object in tick component. So you need to know when you do a function, does it comes from the tick? And if it comes from the tick, you want to avoid the new object. And to avoid the new object, the way to do it is to create it in the header. So it does not have to create it every time, and you reuse it like or you do a design pattern like pool object, the pool object pattern. It's not the right name. It's pool, but pool object pattern. Object pool pattern is the other way around. Object pool, but not pool object. Object pool pattern. Pool is a word that is hard to translate in French, because it's not hard, but when you're French you think of pool like water pool. We say piscine in French, a piscine. But a pool table. We might say in tab the pool, a pool table. But in term of programming, we would translate it as a bassin. A bassin. I don't know if you have a similar word in English. Bassin. Anyway, it will be pool also in. I think. Oh, it's bassin. Basin. I don't know how you pronounce this, but you have a similar word in English. Basin. I guess it's more British. Basin. So yeah. Bassin. Bassin. Let's see if my British girls. Bassin. Basin.
The Drevens says basin. Dreven by Mehendices says basin.
British. I wonder if she say British.
The Dreven says I'm British. Dreven by Mehendices says I'm British.
almost. She almost said British. 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 Okay, I'm not doing it well. I'm not having the right accent. British. British. So this is adding it to the my character blueprint in the game. It will go with this. I will show you what I've done in it. I just re-added my FSM because it was not ticking. I guess because I've played with this. Not with this, with the other. It was not ticking, so I deleted it, re-added it. So there is not much new in there. I don't need to show you. Camera controller. What was in there? Okay, the variable, there's cache reference. I think I might delete, but I'm not sure. Because it's not so bad that it creates this pointer, since it will be deleted on the stack. This is the stack. So it's deleted there. When I reach, it deletes this. I might redo this because I don't need them in the class, and the class becomes heavier because a little bit heavier because I put them in the header. I will see. And then I wouldn't need to do this. This is just to delete everything, to clean up everything. So usually the garbage collector and all this, if it's specifically something I don't remember, because they are weak pointer. Just the GC handle the is following variable, or do I need to clean it up by end? What makes what flags a variable, not flag? What makes a variable being handled by the VC? I think it has to do with this, usually. It says it is a weak pointer. We see it weak PTR. Derived type marked with new property and transient. Here's how this relates to garbage collection in Unreal. Only new object and new object pointer marked with new property participate in Unreal garbage. This is what I understood. Raw pointer or non-U property references are not tracked and must be managed manually. So yeah, I wonder. When I did this, I asked AI, but he still put them in, delete them here. So he was wrong. Do this. Weak object pointer is a special kind of weak pointer. Oh, maybe it was wrong. That reference a U object without preventing it from being garbage collected. Oh, that's why. Okay, was not wrong. It does not keep the U object alive. Instead, it becomes null if the referenced object is destroyed by the garbage collector. The transient specify U property not realized, as I said. Because you are using two weak object, you are not. You do not need to. Oh, you was wrong then. You do not need to clean up the object pointed by the. So it was wrong to do this. I asked him, shouldn't the garbage collector and the AI the same? No, it wasn't the same. I think it was Copilot here, and it was GPT-5, but I'm not sure. What do you need to handle? Is that FSM controller can become null when the reference to... Oh yeah, it's normal. It's not needed. What the F? Sometime AI, I should listen to my own self. But I might delete them later on. Anyway. What else? Next one. It changes. So we've seen this. We'll add all the folder. Where's the camera? I added the camera. Where's the camera? Where's the camera? Oh, it's there. I was scared that I did click this little arrow. Okay, so there is stuff to do here. So it would be to rearrange this later. Alligator. Come on. Next. I changed this. So now it's on move input and on move stop, so that it sends the signal and it stopped. So there it get and caches the move input value inside the set move, which is in my FSM controller. Set the player movement. It's the class that is added there. Player movement in the default. Oh no, it's the character. In the character. So yeah. So I will see this later when we be in the next one. And yeah, I did this. So I might return back to this because it's not problematic that it's a small value like this. Because it's deleted there. Also, it's not a bad thing, but it makes the class heavier because now it's in the header. It's a bit heavier, it's not a big thing. And if it's in there, it's not in the header, it's the class is lighter. This is not problematic. I should return back to it. I will return back to it. Look, controller. Where are they? Was I in the controller? What is this? Okay. They are there. Okay. Controller. Come on. What else? So yeah, it goes there. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else. Yeah, okay. Okay, that's fine. I will do this later. Now, I need to not commit this. Right away because I need to do test this. I might gonna do this one first. Camera. Yeah, it was the AI weird stuff. I rearranged. Character movement is the new class which get in. This is to tell that he can tick, intro tick, because it updates the variable here. It initializes my class. Because the class character class is the owner. This is in the side the character class implementation blueprint inside the engine, and then the pawn is the owner too because it's the character here. And I need this to call my buddies. I could cast because the AI said it's not bad. It would remove a pointer, but the pointer are very small, so it's not bad. I don't need to delete null pointer here because it's a weak pointer. This one I need to delete it because it's not a weak pointer. Can I make it a weak pointer? I don't want to look for my little triangle on my keyboard because I don't have, it's dark. Now I don't need to delete them. If it was a real pointer, I would need to delete them to put them, but now it's a weak pointer, it does it automatically. Don't need this one. On register.